Hi, everyone. Some of you may be wondering when you see escape clause lessons, what does that mean? And true confessions time, I like to be creative. It's something that keeps me going in life, and I hope that you can at least humor me. Uh, First of all, you need to know what an escape clause is. It's a way to get out of something, right? A contract or uh, some situation where you might be in trouble. An escape clause is kind of like your parachute, it's a way out. Well, obviously, I've done some magic with language, yay! And I have tried to make an acronym. You can make an acronym out of anything, right? But clause, CLAWS, first of all, it's a play on words. So you've got two for the price of one. You've got a pun, and you've also got an acronym. And so clause, what exactly does this mean? Well, these are the things to escape from. They are the things to avoid in all writing. And I think it's especially true, if you study literature or if you try to make literature, you need to realize that it's very easy to fall into the clause. And so here are 5 things to avoid. First of all, you need to avoid C, closed-mindedness. This is true in literature and in persuasive writing as well. Obviously, when we're trying to persuade someone, it's difficult to think of the other side of the argument, but that's actually very important. If you're going to construct an argument, you need to know how people are going to attack your argument. So closed-mindedness means basically you have to open your mind as you write, and don't think that, for example, poetry has to rhyme. It's I think very incorrect to think that poetry is based on rhyming. Back in the Anglo-Saxon period, the kind of the earliest English period that we study, they based everything on rhythm and alliteration, which means the sounds that are at the beginnings of words. That's how they created their poetry. And haiku obviously doesn't rhyme. So let's open our minds. Don't give in to closed-mindedness. The second one has to do with libel. L is libel. Libel is not the same as liable, but you can be liable. That means you can be in jeopardy or in trouble with the law if you commit libel. And libel is basically tearing down someone's reputation. And this can happen in all kinds of writing. Certainly in persuasive writing, op-ed or opinion pieces in the news, where you're tearing down someone's reputation. Now, in the United States, we have a great First Amendment right, that is the right to free speech. And so we have a lot more freedom than even in the UK, where people can't necessarily attack government officials in the same way, or celebrities. That you need to have facts. That's the basic thing to remember. You can't make assertions without having facts, and it's dangerous. And so in your writing, tearing things down without having any support for why you're making your point, that's very dangerous, and you're falling into the clause. Okay? The third one is A, affectation. Sometimes when people try to write literature, they think they need to talk like Shakespeare. And this happens in all kinds of writing. You need to make sure that you're not just going through your thesaurus trying to find the longest word or the most complicated word. You need to use words that are natural to you. The patterns of our speech are actually pretty amazing, and they're beautiful in their own way. And so I just want to make sure that you don't try to create literature too hard, or don't try to create a persuasive essay where you're imitating something that isn't you. Okay, so be yourself is important. Obviously, we all want to grow as writers, and we can learn from models, but affectation is something to avoid. W stands for wordiness, and this is very common. Using lots of words instead of being concise. Concision is actually a virtue in writing. It means saying a lot with few words. And so choose your words carefully. Choose the diction that you're using. And so avoid wordiness. And finally, S stands for sensationalism. trying to blow things up that really aren't that important. That is a trap that we fall into, no matter if we're writing persuasive writing or literature. But that isn't to say that simple things can't be remarkable. And so sensationalism often has to do with the news and making things, basically writing to get people to read and sell books or get attention. That it's pretty obvious when people are doing that, and it's kind of it's not noble. It's a base quality. So those are the claws, and I'd like you to avoid them. And there's a song, actually it's from Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, and it has to do with the Jabberwocky, and it talks about how the Jabberwocky, this kind of fanciful, made-up creature, has jaws that bite and claws that catch. And so I'm just hoping that you can remember this, that in your writing you want to avoid these things, and you'll be better off for it.